Okay. Hello and welcome. I'm trying to get you pulled up here on my secondary device. I'm sorry about that faux pas and my big face in the, let me see if I can find there we go, if I'm alive. Okay, here we go. So hello and welcome. This is all new to me. I've done a lot of Facebook Lives, but my name is Alicia of the Chardon Sign Shack, and I am so happy to be here. Managing monitor. I'm reading all this stuff. Okay. So here I am. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I do have the camera flipped around, so I'm sorry that's why you saw my big face at the beginning of that video, me just looking at it. I wasn't sure what to do today. I'm really happy to be here. Again, I'm Alicia of the Chardon Sign Shack. I was joined here, I was invited here today to be a part of this wonderful YouTube collaboration. Leah of Make All the Things with Us. I'm gonna try not to talk so fast that I don't massacre everything. Honest to God, I've done this a lot of times on Facebook, but being, like I said, on YouTube, it's different. Hi Tracy, how are you? And Tracy is gonna be next up, actually. So anyhow, hello and welcome. I hope you'll join all of us. The playlist is listed in my description. If I did it correctly, Leah's going to add me to the playlist, and then you can watch everybody on that playlist. So hello Mary, hello Corey. I've tried to catch everybody's live today as much as I can. My husband, unbeknownst to me, yesterday invited my daughter, kids, and her husband over for a cookout today. And I'm like, I have a live scheduled. And he didn't know about it. So anyhow, welcome. And if you haven't done this, please do this. We sure appreciate this. I am going to make you would think I never did this before. But I am going to make a pillow. I am a stenciler and a painter. I work mostly with wood surfaces and fabrics, but mostly wood surfaces, some canvases. I'm the ambassador for the Stencil Smith. And I usually go live on Tuesday on my Facebook page. And I am trying, like I said, I've loaded some videos to YouTube, but this is the first time going live. And this is it's the same, but it's different is the only thing I know how to say. So I am going to make this pillowcase right here because we only have 30 minutes to do a project. And I've changed my mind about 15 times today. I almost did a gnome, but I didn't think I'd have enough time to do the beard. I did iron this ahead of time, but I didn't get the back very good. So I'm gonna unzip this. This is a pillowcase that I got on Amazon. It's Tymo, I think is the name of the brand, Fimo, and it's 18 by 18 right there. And what I do when I stencil pillowcases, I wash them ahead of time. I don't wash them in any fabric or anything like that. I just throw them in cold water, dry them, because they do shrink a little bit, and you want to do that ahead of time. And then I do iron them out. So they have many different colors of this. I have an orange one. That I'm making some Halloween ones, and this one is just a simple one. And this is, I like to use these big sticky mats. Mine has lost most of it's sticky, but it's got a little bit. People use these for the crickets, and they work wonderfully. Hi Sandra, how are you? They work wonderfully for your fabrics, especially like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or something like that. If you've ever stenciled on that, it's very hard because the fabric, you can sponge it, but I don't like to sponge. I like to swirl with a brush. So what I do is I put this inside of the pillowcase here, and then I zip it back up, just like so. And then I kind of center it, and I probably will turn this down a little bit so you can see better. Let me see if I've got it in the camera here. Seems like there's a little bit of a time delay, but not that bad. So this is the stencil that I'm going to be using. This is a custom stencil, and again, I did get this one from the Stencil Smith, and I've done many of these in the past couple weeks. I did a bunch for my cousins from Dehu, West Virginia. It was an old coal camp, and we had a party last weekend, and so I made a whole bunch of them for all my relatives that were raised there. That's where I was born, and then we moved to Ohio like many a good Southerner. You got a GTO, you're going to Ohio or Michigan or wherever that may be back in the day, because all the really good jobs were up here. Hi Christy, how are you? Hello Leah. Especially you know, if you didn't want to work in the mines. So anyhow, that's what I did, and I realized it is going to be hard to see this until I get my first layer on this. I don't know if you've ever stenciled on fabric, but it's super easy. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this and getting it in the center. I'm not measuring or anything like this. And I use painter's tape when I stencil. I like to tape things down, and usually I'm out in my garage, but again, my daughter and her boys are here, and it's hot outside. It's so hot, I've actually done the last couple of my lives in here. It's almost 90 degrees outside, and it's very hot in that garage, even with a fan. So I've got that taped down so it doesn't shift around on you. You never want that to shift when you're stenciling. And when I stencil on fabric, I like to use the Deco Arts So Soft fabric paint. You can use a fabric medium. I have found that if you use regular paint, I use Fusion Mineral Paint a lot, and I use a lot of Deco Arts paint, and I have found that it can fade, just the regular paint. I haven't used a fabric medium, and I just use paper plate and squirt my paint out on that. You should probably never do what I'm doing, which is squirting it out over fabric, because I will tell you one thing, even though it comes out when you don't want to, if you use regular paint, it never comes out when you don't want it to. And I am so messy, I usually wear a apron, but I didn't wear an apron today. So anyhow, so I've got this stencil laid out, and I've got it taped down. I've got the sticky board, and you can use cardboard too. Cardboard works well, but the sticky board keeps the fabric from moving. And you definitely want to put something between it when you're stenciling. Otherwise, the paint will go through to the back, and you don't want that when you're stenciling something. So I have a paper plate here. And the only reason I put paint over my pillow is because I'm working in limited space here to kind of show you what to do. And I'm going to get a stencil brush here. I'm going to get a 3/8. I guess I didn't bring anything bigger in. So a 3/8 stencil brush. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of paint. I like to use stencil brushes. Some people use sponges. I'm a stencil brush person. That's my personal preferences. These are wonderful stencil brushes. And you want to pick up enough paint on it that it's a little gobby, but you only want it like on the tip of your brush. And then you're going to offload. So when you offload, you're going to swirl it. I like to use shop rags or shop towels to offload onto. You can use paper towels. Paper plates don't work super well because it's got a slick feeling to it. You could use this paper that I'm stenciling on, that I've got covered on my dining room table. A lot of people use coffee filters, just whatever you want. And when I'm stenciling, I like to just kind of put my fingers down, even though it's taped down where I'm stenciling, the area I'm stenciling, and I just kind of swirl that in there lightly. I am not pushing hard, and I'm going to put another piece of tape on that because that did shift to the side, and I don't want that shifting at all. So I'm going to put 4 pieces of tape on this on each side. I do not want it shifting at all. So have you guys ever stenciled on fabric or done anything like that? And I realize this is live YouTube, it's not live Facebook. So like I said, a little bit of things are different. I did figure out how to stream my comments, I think, for the most part, on a secondary device. So, okay, I guess I did get the playlist listed. So make sure, if you're just hopping on, make sure to watch the whole playlist. We started at 2:30 with Lori from Farmhouse Stencils, and I don't know who the last one is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Leah. Hello, Fraps and Scraps. Hello, sweeties. I'm not sure who that's going to be. I know Tracy of Tracy's Crafty Creations is going to be following me. But if you click on that playlist, they're being uploaded as, I guess, we finish our videos. And then you'll be able to see everybody's video. And there's been so many beautiful projects today. I can't even pick a favorite. They're just really, really pretty. I did miss the last one, I believe, because I was trying to figure out how to go live on YouTube. So you're the last. Oh, 10 p.m. Oh no, Leah. That's like past my bedtime. I know my daughter is going to leave my grandson here tonight. He's going to spend the night, and we have the fireworks down at the high school. They were going to go with us, but my youngest grandson hurt his foot, so they're going home and leaving him, and I'm like, 10 o'clock is like past my bedtime. So it's been an amazing day, Leah. You're right, and thank you so much. Leah, Make All the Things With Me, is a very kind person, so inclusive. She helps all the crafters, and this was her event that she's hosting, and she's just a really, really nice person. So make sure you subscribe to her page and everybody's. And if you haven't subscribed to mine, please do as well. Hi, Bronwyn, how are you? And I do have a towel that I'm going to stencil to if I have time, because I don't know how I was going to run on time here. And again, when I'm stenciling, I do just kind of hold it down here. And like I said, I was going to do a gnome and use a rake brush and make a beard and stuff maybe next time for this. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get it done in my half hour allotted slot. Because usually when I do my lives on Facebook, they're like an hour and a half long. Plus I like to talk a lot, so. Excuse me. So again, I'm just swirling this in here. I hope everybody had an amazing 4th of July. Like I said, it's been hot here. We had a quiet 4th of July. It was just me and my husband. And today, like I said, the kids came over. And so I'm just going to go back to the top here. You can, if you want to, dry over your stencils, but this is pretty much dry up here. But if you do dry on your stencils, just to show you, make sure that you move it around, just like so. Don't like just hover over something, because you will warp your stencils, and you don't want to do that. I've never done it, but my grandson did it for me one time by accident, and I was very sad because I had to order that stencil again. So I'm going to go over this again. Hopefully just 2 coats I'll need. I may need 3, I don't know. I love doing anything in black, because black is very forgiving. It coats better. And when you close bridges, which is closing the little pieces, it you don't see it as much as you do on white. I haven't perfected the white except to say distress it. Just distress, distress. We had some fireworks last night. They don't have them here on the 4th of July. They say the insurance is too high on the 4th of July, so they usually have it the 3rd, but today it's going to be on the 5th. I'm guessing because it's a weekend. But they don't start them until late. So Leah, I will be watching your live at the fireworks with my grandson. And again, I'm just swirling this in here. And you want to make sure to always offload every time you dip your brush, just because you will get bleeds. And that's not to say that I don't still get bleeds by accident, or sometimes I forget to offload. But it happens. My daughter is in the kitchen right now making some blackberry cobbler for dinner. Well, not for dinner, for dessert. But I could definitely have it for dinner. I am a sweetaholic. Hi, Lori. How are you? Your project was beautiful earlier. Everybody's project has been so pretty. And there are a few new names that I've subscribed to. So as I said, if you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay, please make sure to subscribe to everyone. But I think these zip code ones are really fun. They've cut a couple different ones. I think I'm going to cut the little Ohio out. I have a couple of Ohio stencils and stencils in general that I use for patterns, and I'm going to cut it out on the scroll saw, and for Christmas put a little resin heart in where we live in Northeast Ohio. If you're familiar with the snow belt at all, in Ohio we are the snow belt. That's like our claim to fame, that and maple syrup. So this pillow right here I'm making, my sister and I are doing a craft show, a fall festival in September, and this will be one of the things that'll be there. And so that's why if I have time to do the towel real quick, I'll do the towel, but I don't know that I will, but we'll see. I like, yeah, I haven't had blackberry cobbler in a long time, and my daughter is an amazing, amazing baker. She makes my dad, she spoils him. My dad lives with us. He's 85 and he's been very sick the last couple years, and we take care of him. But she makes him every week, and it takes a lot of work, but she makes some homemade baklava. And it is the best baklava I have ever had in my life. It's so good. As a matter of fact, she made him a fresh batch last time he went in the hospital. He was in May, and she had just made him a fresh batch, like pretty much just delivered it, and he had to go in the hospital for a week. And I told her, I said, you have to come and get this, because I am going to eat the entire pan of it, because that's how I roll. I am a binge eater. I love, and especially when it's sweets. Some people are salty. Now, my husband, he brought home chocolate covered pretzels today. That's why I don't let him go to the store very often, because I have problems. He can monitor himself. I'm like, nope, just give it to me all. I want it all. So yeah, she's making that, and we'll have some vanilla ice cream and some burgers and hot dogs, I think, and some brats. And then I'm just gonna get the Ohio here. I don't, where is everybody from? I'm from Ohio. I'm originally from West Virginia. So those are the two states I've lived in. Both of my grandparents were coal miners in southwestern West Virginia. Okay, I'm going to take a peek here real quick and see if that's dark enough. If not, I'm going to do one more coat. Let me see here. Just take a quick peek. Yeah, I think that's going to be dark enough. I didn't know whether I was going to have to do another coat or not. So there's the big reveal. I always love the reveal. You're in Bluefield, West Virginia, Paula. I was born in Logan, West Virginia, and I lived in And my parents lived in Dehew, West Virginia, which no longer exists because it was a coal camp. And it's just no longer there. They tore it all down, the coal's gone, the people are gone. So I'm going to close the bridges on this, which are the little spaces there. And I use a liner brush, so this is like a 0. And usually when I'm closing the bridges, upstate New York, ooh, you probably get worse weather than I do, Corey. I know, I think Leah does too. So when I'm closing the bridges, usually I like give it a little tap after I get the paint on it, just in case a big, this isn't as bad because these are bigger bridges, but if it's real thin, like, you know, the skinny letters or something like that, sometimes you set your brush down and you put a big blob there. But if you just close them, it looks so nice. It gives it a nice finished look. This is a pretty simple project, but like I said, I didn't know what to do because a half hour is not a lot of time. Pretty bad winters, 2.5 hours from, I can't read the rest of the comment. Oh, from Leah. Okay, I got it. I thought that was a place at first. Yeah, we're in Chardon, and we are in the northeastern corner of Ohio. And like I said, our claim to fame is snowfall and maple syrup. We usually average, I don't know how much you average, but we average about 100. And I think it's 20 or 25 inches a year. Some years we get more. Last winter was a bad winter. And the winters before that have been pretty tame, but we get that lake effect snow off of Lake Erie. Every time it snows, we pray that it goes to Buffalo, that it stays up that way. Otherwise, it drops down here and hits us. So we get similar to Buffalo, but not quite Buffalo. Buffalo is a world unto its own. So that is, I'm going to tap something here. I don't know. Okay. I couldn't see something. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Your project was gorgeous. Loved it. And again, if you're just hopping on, please make sure to subscribe to all the other crafters that have gone on today. Give them a like, show them some love, share them out. I'm trying to get used to saying share on YouTube. I've been told you can say share now on Facebook, but ooh, I almost dropped that liner pen. Then I would have had to come up with a little design somewhere on this. So I'm just closing these bridges on here. Nothing terribly exciting, but like I said, it does give it a nice finished look. And I do love to do black. I try to do everything I can with black lettering just for that reason. And when you're closing your bridges, a good tip, which I don't always do, I'll be doing bridges, go from farthest point away towards you. Because you don't want, okay, I have enough time here. 22, okay, I'm doing okay. Like I said, I brought a towel in to do too. So you can stencil on anything, any kind of fabric. I do like doing fabric, number one, because I don't have to cut and sand it. I hate to sand. I usually try to talk my husband into doing that. And just be careful when you're closing your bridges. It helps to have a good brush. All my brushes are from the Stencil Smith. They have very high quality brush. My favorite brush is the rake brush, which I was going, like I said, I was going to do a gnome today. I had everything out. I had all the paint up here, but I was like, ooh, I don't know if I can get it finished in time, which I don't think I could have just based on this. If I had an hour possibly, so I'll close these bridges here and then we'll put it in the little pillow. I get my inserts as well. And sometimes I have to turn when I'm closing the bridges. I don't know why, but sometimes I do have to turn them weird ways as I'm closing them. But yeah, if you go this way to this, if you go from you, away from you, you put your hand in the paint, because I've done it before and it's a mess. So something like this makes really nice gifts, reunions, new home gifts, all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, go down here. And I like Ohio for the most part, except for 2 months, like January and February. We were wintering for a while in Florida, but I don't think I'm getting any paint on my brush. I couldn't see there. My dad had a condo in Florida, and that was very nice. But after COVID, he got really sick, and then so we sold it. And he's just with us full time. It was too hard for him to travel. And I don't want to, I love Florida. I think Florida's beautiful. If anybody's from Florida, I think it's an amazing, beautiful state, especially in the winter. It's amazing when you talk to somebody back home and they're like, yeah, we just got a foot of snow or 2 feet of snow, and you're in the pool. But it's very far from my grandkids. So that's the thing. And they rule the roost here. They're out in the pool right now swimming. Okay. So we have many more crafters to come. Leah's going to be the last one at 10 o'clock. I think I said that correct. You're in hot, rainy Southwest Florida. Oof. You guys get rain like every day, don't you, in Florida in the summer? Like it rains. I know my husband was in Louisiana for a while when he was in the Army, and he said it was just the most ungodly heat you ever experienced. So I've closed all those bridges, and I am going to give this a quick little dry just to make sure the bridges are dry. And then I'll put it, and you don't have to heat set the fabric paint at all. Alabama, swamp weather in Miami. Yeah, I can take hot. Like today it's almost 90 and it's hot, but it's not as humid. Last week we were in the 90s and it was so humid you just could not catch your breath as you went outside. It just was so oppressive. You just were like, you know, like kind of like that. It just took your breath away. Again, why I'm in the house when I usually craft in my garage. Jeff prefers me out there too. He's like, he's got his TV with football or baseball or something on. And I'm out there in my happy place with music. So I've got that dried and I'm going to unzip that. And again, this pillowcase I got on Amazon, and it's an 18 by 18 pillowcase. Let's see where it's, ooh, 627. I'm doing good. Awesome. And I've got these inserts too. They're 18 by 18, and I'm going to stand up, I think, to get this in. It's going to be hard for me to get it from sitting down. And you just want to slip them in there. And then get the other end in. And I do recommend, even with the fabric soft paint, anytime you have to wash anything, make your little ends, kind of pull them out down there. Anytime you do have to wash it, if I can, I wash it on cold. I always wash it on cold, and if you can turn it inside out, I always wash it inside out and on delicate. And then just sip this guy up. Like so. It's like you do it live and it's like, sure, like so. How many times does that happen to you as crafters? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So there you go. And you play with a little bit, but how cute is that? And it's a nice, quick gift that you can do. Like I said, housewarming gift. It'd make a really nice wedding gift. Of course, you can do it on wood or anything else. But I really like it, and I've made a lot of these. I get them in all, but we're going to do a bunch of these for our craft show and have them up there to sell. But it's very nice. So I want to thank everybody for joining. And again, my name is Alicia. This is my first YouTube live, so I apologize for the beginning where I had it all flipped around. You'll see if you go back and watch the beginning. It's horrible. It's looking at the ring light, and then it's looking at my big face, and but it's real. So you know, I don't know if I know how to finish a live from YouTube. I think I have to go around to my camera. Thank you, Bronwyn. I appreciate you checking in, and thank everybody for coming, and make sure to watch the playlist and Tracy's Crafty Creation. She is next, and I'm sure she's going to do something phenomenal. She's very funny. X on the top. Okay, so I'll go around to my phone. Thank you very much. Like I said, this is my first live. So you guys go on and you join Tracy. I appreciate you coming here. Make sure you watch everybody else on the playlist. And thank you so much, Leah, for having me and having everybody and being the host. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you, and bye-bye.